The Islamic dress code, known as hijab, is often misunderstood as merely a set of clothing rules. In reality, it is a comprehensive concept of modesty that encompasses behavior, speech, and dress for both men and women, rooted in specific spiritual and social philosophies. Here is a detailed breakdown of the dress code and the reasoning behind it. Part 1. The dress code rules. The rules are derived from the Quran, the Hadith, sayings of the Prophet Muhammad, and scholarly consensus. The core principle is modesty and covering the aura, the parts of the body that must be covered in public. For women, covering the body, the majority of scholars agree that women should cover their entire body except for the face and hands. Some scholars, particularly in conservative schools, include the face and hands, making the full niqab, face veil, obligatory. The headscarf, kimar, hijab, a head covering that conceals the hair, neck, and bosom is required. Looseness, clothing must be loose enough not to reveal the shape of the body. Opacity, fabric should not be see-through. Dignity, clothing should not be flashy or extravagant as to attract attention. Distinction, clothing should not resemble that of men or of non-Muslims in a way that contradicts Islamic identity. Common garments, hijab, headscarf, abaya, loose cloak, jilbab, outer garment, niqab, face veil. For men, covering the aura, the minimum requirement is to cover the area from the navel to the knee. The chest and back should also be covered in public. Looseness, clothing should not be tight or form-fitting. Prohibition of silk and gold. Men are forbidden from wearing pure silk and gold jewelry, as these are considered luxuries reserved for women in the afterlife. Dignity and modesty. Like women, men are to dress in a way that is dignified and not boastful. The beard is also a highly emphasized practice, sunnah, for men, seen as part of a masculine identity and following the tradition of the Prophet. Part 2. The reasoning behind the dress code. The reasoning is multifaceted, drawing from theology, sociology, and spirituality. 1. Primary reason, a divine command, obedience to God. For believing Muslims, the most important reason is that it is a command from God in the Quran. For men, tell the believing men to reduce some of their vision and guard their private parts. That is purer for them. Quran 24:30. For women, and tell the believing women to reduce some of their vision and guard their private parts and not expose their adornment except that which necessarily appears thereof and to draw their head coverings over their chests. Quran 24:31. The primary motivation for many observant Muslims is obedience and devotion to God. Fulfilling this command is an act of worship and a demonstration of faith. 2. Cultivation of modesty, haya. Modesty, haya, is a cornerstone of Islamic ethics. It is not just about clothing but about a state of mind, a sense of shyness, decency, and humility before God and society. The dress code is the external manifestation of this internal virtue. It is designed to create a social environment where modesty is valued and practiced. 3. Focusing on character and intellect. By mandating modesty and covering physical beauty, the goal is to shift the focus of social interaction from physical appearance to a person's character, intellect, and personality. In an ideal Islamic context, a person is valued for their mind, faith, and deeds, not for their body. 4. Societal harmony and sexual ethics. Islam views the free mixing of sexes without boundaries as potentially leading to social discord, extramarital affairs, and the objectification of individuals. The dress code, combined with rules for modest interaction between genders, aims to Desexualize public space. Create a professional and social environment where men and women can interact without the primary layer of interaction being sexual attraction. Chastity and marriage. Channel sexual expression into the private, lawful bond of marriage, which is considered the foundation of a stable family and society. 5. Protection and dignity. Contrary to a common Western perception that the hijab is oppressive, many Muslim women argue that it liberates them from being judged as sexual objects. They state it gives them control over their bodies, allowing them to be seen for who they are rather than what they look like. It is a public declaration that their body is private, not for public consumption or critique. 6. Identity and piety. The Islamic dress code serves as a visible marker of Muslim identity. It is a constant reminder to the wearer of their faith and encourages them to act in accordance with Islamic principles. It can be a source of pride and a way to publicly affirm one's belonging to the Muslim community, Ummah. In essence, the Islamic dress code is not merely a set of restrictive rules about clothing. It is an integral part of a comprehensive system of morality and social ethics. Theologically, it is an act of obedience to God. Socially, it is a mechanism to foster a modest, respectful, and stable society. Individually, it is a spiritual practice intended to cultivate inner piety and protect the dignity of the individual by focusing on their character over their physical form. The interpretation and practice of these rules vary immensely across the Muslim world, reflecting the diversity of cultures and individual understandings within the global Muslim community.